Hi everybody. Welcome to June's Quilt Block of the Month. I know I've been kind of quiet. I've been doing lots of prep work, behind the scenes work for our event that we're having next week. So I've been actually very busy. I just haven't been on YouTube at all. So sorry about that. But I am not going to miss our second Thursday of every month. We have our Quilt Block of the Month. I'm not going to miss that. So here we are. And of course, none of this would be possible without our dear sister, Susan. So Susan, thank you. She's always awesome at reminding me and showing me what block we're going to be doing. So like I said, this would not be possible without her. Okay, so I kind of have a different camera angle this time around. I think this is going to work a lot better. It's hard getting used to a new area of the room to record at, so I'm trying my hardest. So you guys let me know what you think about this new setup. I have the camera back here behind everything. Yeah, so we're on June. We have done 5 months so far. So this is month number 6. You, if you're sewing along with us, you should have quite a bit of blocks already, hopefully. I don't know. Maybe you haven't, maybe you have. Hi guys. So I know we've been doing lots of just diagonals and kind of the same thing. So this is the last month of really getting that diagonal square. I know there's a term for it, and it's my brain is not working right now. Next month we're gonna go and do a little bit more intricate quilt blocks. So, but I love all the ones we've done so far. I think they grow great. So this month, this is the design we're doing. You guys see it? Ooh, so cute. So cute. I love it. It's adorable. What you need for all of these blocks so far are just 5-inch squares, and you can cut them all down. If you don't want to do that, then I'm going to show you what I did. So before you sew all of these individual squares together, they all need to measure 4.5. And then you get a 12.5 by 12.5 block by the end of all of these squares. So that's our main goal, 12.5 by 12.5. I think it's really cute. Don't you guys? Okay. Yay. Hi, guys. All right. My goal was to do 3 blocks each month. That has not happened. I think I've done the first 2 months I did 3 blocks, and then after that it's been 2. So I'm like, well, that's fine. So I'm doing 2 blocks each month. And depending on how big or small you want to make your quilt, you can always add borders around your blocks when we're all done. I'll show you a couple different options in December when we're ready to put it all together. So people keep asking me, what's the end size of this quilt? It's whatever you want it to be, really. It depends on how many blocks you're going to make. If you want to border them all, it depends on you. So I'll explain that when we're all done. But okay. So this is the block we're going to be attempting. I love it so much. So the only ones that we are not piecing with the diagonal together are these 3, diagonal across here in the middle. These are 3 4.5-inch blocks. I did put the measurements all down in the description of what you need to cut. I will go over what I have for it as well. It's very easy, and it turns out so cute. All right, so I did find one of my smaller handy dandy quilting rulers, which this is a fabulous ruler for doing all this. It's a 6x6. I know they sell all sorts. They sell 4.5 by 4.5, 5 by 5, whatever you want to do. But this is kind of awesome, and I don't know why I didn't get it out before now. It's taken me 6 months to find it. I don't use a lot of these smaller rulers in bag making anymore, and I used to have a ton for quilting. So I found this one. Yay! So that's the ruler I'm going to be using. Okay, so let's go over our squares. So I have 2 4.5 by 4.5s of one color and 1 4.5 by 4.5 of the other. Okay, so 3 of those. Those are going to be my diagonal down the middle. And then the rest of them are 5-inch blocks. Okay, and you are going to trim them down just a tiny bit. Not by a lot, but that's where this ruler comes in handy. So I have 3 of one color 5-inch squares and 3 of the other 5-inch squares. And we're going to be putting these all together, sewing on that diagonal and cutting those apart, and they will make 6 blocks total. And then we'll piece it all together. It's actually very simple. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I'm going to move it first into my sewing machine. We're going to sew these blocks together, and then I'll move the camera over here. I think it's in a great spot for this. Okay, so I will be moving it a tiny bit, but hopefully not too much. Look at that. Isn't that great? Finally figured out the best spot for it. Okay, and I'm just going to zoom you in just a little bit there. Beautiful. Okay, hopefully that's a good angle. You let me know. I know we've got some shadows casting on here. I don't know how to fix those very much, so hopefully it's okay. All right, sorry, I'm reading comments. Yay. You have so many rulers too, Natalie. I know. I have a ton of rulers. I just found that one in my stack. Yeah, it's a great ruler, especially if you're doing small blocks like this. Love it. Okay, so I'm going to take one of my colors here, and we are going to draw our center diagonal line, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw my, oh my gosh, my words are leaving my body. I'm going to draw my seam allowance as well. See, look, with that ruler, it lines up perfectly on my diagonal. With this, like, I don't know why I didn't use it before. Okay. All right. All right, so I'm just drawing my diagonal. And then from there, I want to draw my 1/4-inch seam allowance. It just helps me when I'm sewing these to have my 1/4-inch seam allowance on there. Up to you how you want to do it. You can use just your guide on your machine, your foot. I feel like I'm way more precise if I have it drawn on though. Okay. I hope you guys are all doing good. I hope your summer is going well. We're doing good over here. We're just getting ready for the swag dash next week. So I have a ton of kits being cut out over there on my table. That's what I've been busy doing. I've just been cutting kits, guys. Cutting kits, filling orders. That's what my days have been. I haven't gotten on any lives. I haven't sewn up any new bags because I'm a little consumed with that currently. So when that's all done, we'll get back to it. But that's what my life is right now. And of course, kids home for summer break. I've been trying to take time during my day for that. So you guys know how that goes, right? All right. And I'm using my air erase pen. You could use a regular pen on this. It's not going to show on your finished square. So it's totally up to you how you want to do it. I just placed an order for 4 different colors of fold over elastic. Awesome. Thank you. All right, and instead of pens, guys, I'm just using clips. You know, it's just easier. Okay, so I'm going to put these right sides together. Make sure they're nice and lined up. I'm just going to put some clips on them to hold them in place. And then we're going to chain stitch these because that's what we do. Hi, Okers. Hi. Hi. Okay. Right sides together. Hi, Katie. You have surgery on Monday and you've been cramming as much sewing and house projects. Oh, no. Well, good luck on your surgery. Hope it all goes well. Hi, Tammy. All right. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That's all we need. Okay, so I'm going to come to my machine here. Again, let me know how the view is. If you want me to change it, I can. We're going to not sew down the center line. We're going to sew to the side of the center line on each one. So 1/4 inch over from that center line. Okay. And I like to go, so that center line lines up on a part of my foot where I know my 1/4 inch seam allowance is perfectly. So play around with your machine so you know exactly where all of your seam allowances are. That really helps when quilting. You need to be pretty accurate on that for everything to line up right. And then I just take my next piece, I pop it in there, and we're just gonna sew down the next piece. I do backstitch. Some people don't. Totally up to you. Whatever you want to do. All right, so now I'm going to take these pieces and I will go along the other side now. Make sure you have your iron turned on. I just turned mine on. Hi, Amber. Good morning. I have thought of maybe going live as I prep the kits. I don't know if you guys are interested in that or not. I could. All the kits for the Swag Dash. I mean, it's just me cutting and interfacing and grouping them all together. I don't know if that interests you guys or not. But I just haven't had a time to dig into anything new right now because of that. All right, last one. All right, so now I'm going to cut these apart and iron them, okay? So we will come over to my ironing station here. Move. Look at that. Bada bing, bada boom. That works good, right, guys? All right, so I like to iron them all first. I like to iron those seams. Actually, iron them on the non. I got steam going here for my iron. And then I'm just going to use scissors and cut. Just easier for me right here than using a rotary. Totally up to you. Whee! All right, and then when I iron these, I iron all the seams going the same way. So like all of the same color on top and going back. If you do it that way, they will nest together like you need it to. Hopefully that makes sense. So my blues are gonna be all on top and I'm gonna fold them back. Easy to follow. All right, one more. And then we're going to trim these down because we want them all to be exactly 4.5, and they're just a little bit, they can be just a tiny bit off, and we want them to be perfect. Okay. All right, so now we want a cutting mat and our ruler. And I want to make sure that my diagonal is up at my right, on the right, going down to the left, okay? And then you're going to do a 4.5. So when you have this smaller ruler, there's this center 45-degree line that lines up right along your crease here. And it should perfectly be at the 4.5 by 4.5. So 4.5 by 4.5. So I want to trim this side. And there's not much. Like it's pretty, I mean, it's pretty even actually. I did pretty dang good. I mean, I hardly had to trim any off that. Look at that. Okay. So I'm just going to do that to each one and make sure they are all where they need to be. You can trim off those little ears. 4.5 by 4.5 right there. I've been putting a little bit of temporary 505 on the back of my rulers to make them not slippery, and it's actually kind of worked. So it's kind of sticking a little bit. All right, 4.5. 4.5. Oops, moved. Don't move. Okay, this just takes a second. You just do it to all your blocks here. You want to make sure when you're trimming these down that you're trimming one side of color A and one side of color B. If you have it this way and you're trimming off just one color, your block is going to be uneven. So make sure that when you trim, each side is the different color. Hopefully that makes sense. So this is the color A here and color B up here. All right, so now all my blocks are 4.5 by 4.5, and we're gonna lay this out on my pad here so we can get it where we want it. All right, I have my block here for my visual. All right, so I want my blue is going to be my center here. Hi, Sylvia. I need to iron that a little bit better. All right, so my blue is my center block. This goes up here. This goes up here. I didn't trim all these little ears off. Did I not trim this one? Just a minute. I don't think I trimmed this block. It was stuck over here on this side. I think I forgot it. Yep. All right. Boom. All right, so I'm going to lay this one here. Hi, Sheila. Doing good. That. Okay, that's how we're putting our block. That looks good. So now we want to sew the rows together. So the rows going this way, and then we'll piece them all together. Hi, Jackie. Karen, I know. I can't wait to see everybody's finished quilts too. I totally agree with you. Okay, so I am just going to, I like to do this in bits and pieces. So I'm going to take these two first, put them together. So if you ironed them all the same way, like I showed you, like all the same color going up and over, these seams should nest. You should be good. So I'm going to put clips on the edges that I need to sew here. And I like to just lay it like that. And then I'm going to flip these two over. And then these two. Okay. You can do this part however you want. You can do just the first row first, and then the second, and then the third, whatever. Whatever floats your boat. Okay, so I'm going to be sewing down this side of all three of those. I'm going to move the camera back over here. Beautiful. Hi, Minzy. I don't know what the term is for this. Is this Jacob's ladder? I'm not sure. Susan just said, do this one. And I said, okay. Honestly. I'm sure there is a name for this pattern. So maybe that's it. Okay, and then I want to piece this one here, ooh, and this one here, right? Yes. All right, here we go. Again, you can use straight pens. I started out using straight pens, and then I just thought, why, I can just clip it. And it works just as well. Just as good. If it was a more intricate design and I really needed seams to line up exact, I would probably use straight pens, but for these ones that we've done so far, clips work great. All right, so here we go. Last one. I'm going to need a weekend of catching up on my blocks. That's awesome. You can do it. I finally got my grandmother's sewing machine and cabinet from Mom a few weeks ago. I need to get her cleaned and serviced. Oh, that'll be fun, Jackie. All right, so we're gonna go back over to our iron. And we're going to iron these, and then we'll piece these rows together. Okay, I'm gonna lay these out so I know I'm going the right way still. Okay, is that correct? Yes, that's correct. All right, so I want to rotate which way I'm ironing these so the seams, again, will nest together. Okay, so I like to iron my seams flat first, like that, and then I can't do it that way. And we'll iron it going this way. So this other one, I'm gonna do the other way. This one's going this way. Okay, and then the last one this way. Okay. All right, so now all of my seams should nest since I rotated the direction of the ironing. Okay, so I'm going to piece these two together first, just like this. I'm going to line up those seams first because those are important. You want your squares to be nice and lined up right there. So I always line up those first and then fit everything else in. All right, so we're gonna sew along there first. Aw, thanks, Natalie. She says, I'm so glad you decided to do this. I think it's a great way to learn. Thank you, Kassiah and Susan. You are so welcome. Like I said, quilting was my first love. I used to just... This was my therapy back in the day when I had little kids and could escape for a couple hours. This is what I would do. I would just piece together random fabrics. I never really had a plan. I kind of just did it. In the end, I started following patterns and doing patterned quilts. But, you know, in the beginning, I just kind of pieced things together, and it helped me use my creative juices and get that outlet. So I think there's lots of different ways that you can go about quilting, which is kind of awesome. There's no set in stone. You have to do it this way. It's still a little odd to watch you on a little domestic machine. I know. I know. All right, so now I'm going to sew this one together, and then we will iron it, and our block is done. I mean, so easy. That took, what, 30 minutes? It really is easy to do, guys. And by the end, you will all have gorgeous big quilts. I'm telling you what. I will be sending my quilt top to my mother because she's the one that with the long arm quilting machine. And she can quilt the final for me. I can piece all day long, but doing the actual end quilting, ooh, that's a lot. I can do it, but it's a lot. You hand quilt? I have hand quilted before. Back when my hands weren't so trashed. All right, so now I'm just going to iron this block and we're done. How about that, guys? Okay, here she is. Just a minute. Ta-da! There it is. How cute is that? All done. Look at that. I got my two little blocks. That's it. That's June, guys. I hope you liked that. Hi. Let's see. Let me zoom out so you guys can actually, so I'm not just talking to my Nothing. Okay. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining. So that's it. That is our June quilt block of the month. Pretty easy. Like I said, next month, it's going to be a little bit different, and we're going to learn a couple new techniques, and we're not going to be doing just, you know, the piecing on the diagonal. We will up it a little bit, up the ante, and get a little more detailed with our block. But I mean, you guys, so far, these have turned out so good. I'm so happy with this. I can't wait to piece this all together in the end. It's going to be so fun. It definitely looks like Jacob's ladder or a version of it. Okay, I totally believe you. All right, like I said, I haven't been on here as much because I'm prepping for the Swag Dash event next weekend. So I've just been busy prepping all the kits for that. That's my whole area is over there is taken over with the bag kits for that and all of the things that we need to do to get ready for that. So that has been my life lately. I'm here, I'm alive. Maybe I'll get on while I'm prepping kits and chit chat. I could do that. I hope you guys are all having a fabulous summer, and thank you so much for watching, and I love to see your makes. Post your pictures on either Instagram or Facebook. Tag me. I love to see what you guys are coming up with for these quilt blocks. Everybody's is so different and unique, and that's the whole point. That's the whole point of this. Just be creative and have fun. So, all right. Thanks, guys. We will see you later. Bye.